So another option we have apart from the base layout and canvas that you see here is a geo canvas, which is really a geographic map of the world as our canvas that stories, profiles, and any content potentially can be overlaid on. Let's have a quick look at that now. So this is what it starts to look like, and on this geo canvas, what I've done is just filter out, and it is only going to display profiles that have location data attached to them. And I'll explain in a second how you can do that through StoryKeeper when you're posting your profile, stories, or any other content. But as you can see, we've got 4 profiles here: Hannah, Tim down here, Dave up here, and Michelle down in Southern Australia. So in one respect, it's as simple as that. You can switch to this view and quickly see where your community or network is located. And I don't know about you, but this is quite often what I do if I come across particularly a new network. I want to see who's around me, ideally maybe in my community, city, or country at the least, that I might be able to geographically connect with. And as I said, you can also add stories and other content onto a geo canvas. It doesn't just have to be profiles, but that works quite well to anchor people to place. Here's another example. This is actually the genesis of really the WayFinder platform. Was a collaboration that was part of the initial response to the pandemic early in 2020. And here we were collecting stories of how local communities were supporting self-organising around the needs in those local communities, and people were sharing stories from across the globe. So it so happened that in Leeds in the UK, we had quite a few stories be shared from there. So it's about a dozen. So this is just an example of how people can also share their stories linked to place. And again, this becomes really useful as we've set up here. It's what have people already done, or maybe particularly what would people like to do. So in more recent versions of WayFinder, you can see how you could quickly see who's experimenting or who's got questions or ideas maybe in your part of the world or in your community that you can start to physically connect with. And so I think this is really important, to start anchoring people and stories to place, particularly as people are suffering, I think, with the online and digital world of kind of being placeless in a way, floating in cyberspace and becoming quite disconnected and actually ungrounded. It's really important to start grounding back in place. So how do we, when we're using StoryKeeper to put content on a canvas, how do we add this location data so it can be mapped on a geo canvas? Quite simple. For any type of content, you'll see this geolocation icon marker here. If you click there, it'll bring out a pop-out box where you can enter the location, and as the little help suggests here, that location could either be in the format of your postcode with followed by a comma and your country, or if you want to get more precise, you can enter latitude, longitude coordinates. So for where I am in Adelaide in South Australia, I would put postcode of Adelaide and the country. Okay, or as we've got a link here to Google Maps, which would allow you to generate more precise latitude, longitude coordinates if you wish to do so. So with those, with location data in there, if I was to publish this story, that would then give the potential for the story or the profile to be placed onto a geo canvas.